Welcome back, friends. The thing that you guys need to do today, as outlined by the game plan that we made last week, is that we're going to be trying to find Lyra and Mateo and rescue them before Barzillai and his bitches have any chance to extract information from them through interrogation, torture, etc. You guys have a week to kind of execute on this plan. At the end of the week, you'll have, at the end of the week, if you haven't figured out where Mateo and Lyra are, you'll have the opportunity to follow through and spend the next week doing the same stuff, or you will have the opportunity to switch to something else. I created a set of mechanics to describe this process of gathering information and kind of following the clues and the leads that I explained a little bit earlier in the chat, but I'm going to do so now because I'm a nice guy and I love you guys. So you have a week, 7 days, right? Each of those days is chopped in half. There's a morning and an afternoon, effectively. For each time period, you can roll 2 gather information checks, right? This will allow you to, you can roll 2 gather information checks, and specifically in 2 different spots. Mechanically, or in an RP sense, this is kind of, you split up into 2 teams or whatever, and you're in different parts of the city, right? When you make a gather information check, you will do so in one of the 8, 9 districts, whatever the number of districts of the city is. Leads will only proc in certain districts, right? You can't go to the Temple district and get a lead about, you can't go to the Temple district and get a lead from a bunch of nobles in the Greens, right? You have to, in order to get that lead, you would have to go to the Greens. Your goal is to piece together a chain of leads that will eventually kind of narrow down and show you where your friends are hiding. These gather information checks are typical ones. They're made with diplomacy checks, right? When you get a lead, you will. When you get a lead, it will also open up a second skill check that's going to be like a knowledge check kind of thing. This will kind of confirm information about that lead. If you fail this check, it's not the end of the world. Some of these are going to be context clues kinds of things, so you can still follow it anyway. But it's one of those things where if somebody says to you, oh, I saw these prisoners and they were hauled down Bleecker Street, right? Then you would have to hit the knowledge local check to know what district Bleecker Street is, and then go to Bleecker Street and roll the next check. What else? Players can only make 1 skill check per day, including, the gather information and the bonus roll. Beauregard can make 2, though he can't make 2 in the same, time period, right? It's not like Beauregard can be in 2 places at once. He can just make 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, because he has that special trait. Sometimes leads will be dead ends. Sometimes leads will be dead ends, and you'll need to hit the bonus roll to confirm that. If somebody tells you, a piece of information that you think is dubious, you might be able to just kind of infer, yeah, you know what, they're probably not being held on the plane of fire, right? But then you can roll a knowledge planes check to confirm that, no, this person is crazy. They're not being held at the plane of fire. This lead was a dead end. If you succeed a gather information check in a district that does not have any leads option available to you, I'll let you know, so that you know that you've spent enough time in this district to figure out that there's nothing here for you. Trying to think what else. Those bonus rolls I was talking about take up a time slot. So day 1, you guys go to the castle district. You uncover a lead, right? Kaio Ekadire comes up to you guys and says, hey, secretly I'm a huge good guy, right? And they're being held, right, in, I don't know, they're being held on Bleecker Street, right? You then use your afternoon roll instead of gathering information on the bonus roll. You can see, and I will publish this actually because I think I made a quick mock-up of the districts. The districts are in the handouts section under Kintargo. There should be a public thing. I'm showing it to the players now that says city districts. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 districts. I guess that's everything. Do you guys have any questions for these rules?
Oh, we haven't been to most of these districts.
Yeah, you guys haven't spent too much time. I mean, you spent a lot of time. I think Villigry is where
Castle District, I think.
So Villigry is where Lyra's the Long Roads was. Right now, you guys are in Old Town, in the Tooth and Nail, which is like in that O section. You can also see it on the map. We're on the base map, right? Yeah, you can see it on the map. Stuff marked with O is Old Town. Stuff marked with R is Red Roof, etc., etc.
Do you think they made these names all begin with a different letter for this reason?
Wouldn't put it past them.
Wait, so is the castle? So, oh, the Greens is the Noble District. Okay, I thought it was called the Noble District.
Yeah, it's technically called the
That's
Greens.
what we've been calling it, but.
Yeah. Anyway, so do you guys see where?
Yep.
Everything goes down.
Wait, so is the Red Roof District basically only because they have red roofs?
Yeah, it's also the district with lots of tieflings.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
You spent time in the Red Roof. I think like the Phantasmagorium is down there, where you rescued those tieflings a while ago. That was also in Red Roof. So.
Yeah, I just didn't know if like the people that live there happen to just have red roofs and not just have like tieflings or something special.
Gotcha.
Villigray.
Oh.
Villigray is where we fought the guy that blinded himself and saw his own death. They killed him, right?
Is that the case?
Library.
The library of the university. I think the Alabaster Academy might be up there.
Okay, because the Villigray is like Scholastic Center. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it makes sense. Oh yeah, Magnus Del Raya. My favorite. I can't remember what I called him. I'm sorry, Warren. Anyway, I guess if there are no more questions, we can just kind of get started.
I mean, I feel like actually doing this mechanic will make more sense than asking you questions.
That's fair.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
I'm trying to buy as much time for Chucklos as possible.
Chucklos is here. He's just reading his mail, I guess.
Oh, well. Never mind.
Him.
I have no sympathy. It's the fucking beginning of the morning, day one. How do you guys want to do your rolls?
Should we split up into two teams?
Split up, yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah, Retax. We the smart ones here.
Yeah.
So gather information checks or diplomacy checks.
But I'm not good with people. That's a problem.
Can I?
So, can I have a quiet word?
Wow, jeez.
Can I have like?
Yeah, I guess so. It's a fucking class mechanic. Is that once per day?
Twice at this point.
Oh
well,
wait, what is this thing you're talking about? Sorry, I thought that was like the actual term, like quiet.
Wait, did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? The sound of all of the DCs changing because they're going to be a Mango's modifier. That's fair, I suppose. That's fair. Because that literally lets Mango roll not roll all 4 of them, right? But apply a pretty sizable bonus to some of these.
It's a +5 for everybody who doesn't anybody who doesn't have diplomacy.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and say.
Oh, you know what? That's fair because it doesn't get the. I was thinking about it as +8, but +5 is actually not so bad.
I'm gonna intimidate a bunch of like bouncers and like thugs.
Intimidate won't gather you information. It's only diplomacy.
Oh, really? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Not even to, like, gangsters and stuff?
Well, buddy, that's not realistic, like, at all. You can totally beat people up for knowledge. I've done this before.
Fine. If you want to use Intimidate, you can, but it's at a harsher DC. Like, a harder DC to hit than diplomacy.
Who doesn't have diplomacy ranks and would like...
I don't have a diplomacy rank.
I have some.
I have
Intimidate ranks.
diplomacy.
Alaric, did you
I have a rank in it, though.
did you read those mechanics that I wrote in the chat? I just explained them to everyone. Well,
Merrick,
No.
do you have diplomacy ranks?
You were like,
Figure it
one
out.
diplomacy rank.
I'm gonna get... So, you get to use 5 for 1 check, and
I have like 2 ranks. Do you need to have literally 0 ranks in it?
No. It's just whatever's the most. What's the most effective? Where do you have diplomacy ranks?
I have 1 rank in diplomacy because of all this stuff.
You can have the.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
What does this do for me?
Sure
So
that I have...
for one of your diplomacy checks, you can use my number of ranks, which is 5, instead of your normal one.
Do I get your whole modifier, or do I just add
Just
5 to mine?
Just
Okay.
the 5 ranks, but you get your other modifiers on top of it.
Excuse me.
Yeah, my modifiers aren't good.
Right,
but 5 ranks is better than 0 ranks.
Yeah.
It's a class
Yeah, no, I got that. It is not a class rank.
Let me tell you, Mango. I believe I have 2 or 3 points in diplomacy.
I've already given them all out.
Oh.
Okay, so who did you give them to today?
I'm going to give them to Marigrug and Weirin.
Okay, so Marigrug and Weirin are. And then, are you making 2 gather information checks today, Mango?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so that means Marigrug, Weirin, and Beauregard aren't open for bonus rolls. Well, actually, I guess, so who's going in the afternoon kind of thing, right? Because you can also tailor it that way. Let's say we'll go section by section.
It's to Alaric. Why do I have a whisper from you? I don't know, whatever. So basically the way it works is someone rolls like an intelligence check or something.
Yeah, so, okay, so each day is split in, so you have 7 days to figure out where these people are. Each day is split into 2 halves, a morning and an afternoon, right? And then in each half, you can make, the party splits into 2 effectively and makes 2 different checks. Your goal is to find leads that will chain into one another and will end up with a location for where Mateo and Laira are being held, right? But leads will only proc in certain districts in the city, so you might need to kind of like hunt around and go to different districts. That should be in your journal. And you can also see it on kind of the map, what like the different districts are. Those skills, so you can make 2 skill checks. You can make 2 skill checks per time period, right? In morning or for a total of like 4 for the whole day kind of thing. When you discover a lead, it will open up a bonus roll for a certain other type of skill, like a knowledge skill. That bonus roll will clarify information as part of the lead, if that makes sense. So you might need to hit a bonus roll to figure out like if a lead sends you to another district, right, you might need to hit the bonus roll to figure out what district it's sending you to, kind of thing. You also might need to hit the bonus roll to figure out if the lead doesn't go anywhere and it's just a dead end.
So your 2 rolls would be 1 in gather information and 1 bonus roll.
Per period of day. Sorry,
Yeah.
I interrupted.
Each character can only make 1 roll per day. Beauregard can make 1 roll in the morning, 1 roll in the afternoon.
But those are just gather information. Everybody
yeah.
rolls?
That's diplomacy to gather information.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If you make so because your trade is just for gather information. So if you do gather information, you can do 2 of them, right? But it's not like you can do gather information in the morning and then a bonus roll in the afternoon. Does that make sense?
Oh, so then what? Wait, sorry. You said we each get 2. Does the party get 2 rolls in total?
No.
The party only gets 1 roll per whole day, right? If Weirin rolls in the morning,
1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon.
Weirin doesn't get 2 rolls. Weirin gets 1 roll in the morning and no rolls in the afternoon if he's already rolled in the morning.
So the question I have then is you said there's 2 rolls in the morning and 2 rolls in the afternoon for a total of 4 rolls. Is that like 4 rolls total?
Party wide.
Party-wide, there are 4 rolls.
So
You
in
can
the
be two of
so
them that
hypothetically, right, excluding the bonus clause to Beauregard, right? You have 2 people roll in the morning, and then 2 different people have to roll in the afternoon. The same 2 people can't roll, right? For a total of 4 of your 4 rolls, right? Hypothetically, in this situation, 4 different party members would need to roll.
Okay, except I get a special 5th roll because of my trait.
Right. You hypothetically you can roll twice, right? You can roll a morning gather information and an afternoon gather information, but you can only do the second one if it's a gather information effectively, right?
All right, makes sense.
You can't you can only do them as like a set, right? You can't mix and match a gather information and then a bonus roll kind of thing.
All right. So I'll make both gather information rolls in both periods because I think mine's the best score overall.
Probably. Where are you gonna do it though?
You can change districts. Yeah, you can change districts between periods, right? If you do greens in the morning, you can do castle districts in the afternoon.
I can do any arbitrary district in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, there's no distance, even though I thought about the original iteration said that you can only move to an adjacent one, but then I realized that borders are incredibly unclear, so.
Right.
Ah, shucks.
Mango, would you like some Costco coupons?
Let's
We'll
go!
talk about that later.
But I have them right here, and they're
Oh my god.
Talk about that when we're not playing D&D.
Mango, you can get $25 off the Keurig
Oh my god.
K525C.
Oh my god.
I really hope at 5.
Mango, can you check Mango?
25.
Can you check our followers? Because I tweeted the guy from Twitch that I tweeted. I told him we're playing tonight, so he could literally be watching us complain about coupons.
It doesn't appear that there's only 1 follower.
Fair enough. Okay.
What did you have to do? You had to like get us more viewers by paying.
Oh my god.
No, Barry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay.
I would like
so
to know, though.
who? We'll talk about it after.
Beauregard is going to investigate the greens.
Okay.
I'm going to investigate these savings.
I also, as like a point of order, you're gonna roll your first 2 rolls because they happen simultaneously, right? It's not like you can use your lead that you learned in the greens for Jimmy to use to do a bonus roll somewhere else.
Okay, so who's gonna do the other one?
There's some good deals.
Other what exactly?
The other roll in
the bonus roll to go along with your roll, or the other kind?
Simultaneously, there has to be another gather information check, presumably for a different district.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll do it for the castle district.
Okay, so Warren
like,
is it, or
so it's like
Maragog is in the
Beauregard
castle.
Doing it in the morning, and Maragog.
This is
There's 2 groups, right? The party has decided to split, right? And half of the party is going to the castle district, and the other half of the party is going to the greens. It's just that, for simplicity's sake, right? Only Beauregard and Maragog are rolling.
Okay, I'm still very confused as to how the morning and does each group
will get to roll a second set of rolls.
But each group
successful in the morning, or more gather information if we were
So
not
does each group get a second roll in the evening?
Oh boy.
Yes. But
Okay.
from a different character. Like,
Yeah.
Definitely, I can extra gather information.
I got that, but the point was okay, sure, I get it. Thank you.
Salute.
That's a 32.
Okay, and then Maragog, you can also roll.
Diplomacy and add a +5 to that.
Well, Maragog fails. Surprise.
Wait, but I thought
Beauregard.
The 5.
You get an extra 4 rank. You have 1 base rank, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah, 4. Still fails.
So
Sounds
an
good.
extra four ranks with your nat 4.
Why is it
not
an extra
enough.
5 ranks? I thought you said 5.
You
I
get.
have 5, but he already has 1, so the difference is 4.
Oh, that's how that works? Okay, gotcha.
Well,
This is the piece of information that you get from the greens. Just assuming if your question is essentially, do you know what happened on this night at the vault kind of thing? So whatever person you find says that.
So we're looking for.
And what's the bonus roll to Max?
Knowledge religion.
Interesting.
Who has knowledge religion?
I have
Nope.
a total modifier of 10 to knowledge religion.
Are you the best of us?
Probably. I don't think
the more
else
important question is he with you in the greens?
I don't think
you guys all get lunch together and reallocate your groups after, I guess, whatever.
Oh, okay, cool.
Dose
Hand waving.
Oof.
Oh,
well, fair enough.
Okay, that's this afternoon then, right?
Oh fuck! I fucked that up, but that's also my fault. I read my own sheet wrong. This is pointing you to Yolubilis Harbor. The Delrange family are avid merchants, and you will likely get the best place to follow that lead is with Yolubilis workers in the harbor. Delrange workers in the harbor.
Okay.
That is religious how? Or was that just a fuck up?
This is sorry, what? Oh, that was me fucking up. It's actually technically knowledge nobility, but I just misread my own sheet.
My knowledge nobility score is actually better.
So theoretically, I shouldn't know that result, and I can't use that information to roll my second.
Yeah, this is your second gather information check, right?
Okay.
Oh shit, I should have waited until we declared a district, but whatever.
Sure.
We can roll a d8 if you want, if you want to make it random.
Sure. Or roll a d8.
Why did we need to name the district there?
Because otherwise,
to know that information.
Yeah, he's not supposed to. If Mango had said Yolubilis, right, he could have uncovered the next lead without the bonus roll information, right? But because I gave that out first, right, and he hasn't selected the district that he's moving to, does that make sense?
For Alaric specifically, or that group, or
so
whatever?
Alaric's roll is the first roll in the afternoon, where Beauregard is rolling a second gather information check. I gave the answer too quickly, which is why, yeah.
Anyway. You physically spoke it. You didn't. It's not the written down. The part you copied is fine. It's what you just said, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we roll a d8, and if it's an 8, I'll investigate Yolubilis, and if it's anything else, I'll investigate Temple Hill. That makes sense.
Sure. Solid. Fine. Right. Definitely. Okay. Roll. So you can roll your diplomacy. It's a success. You get.
Before you say anything, the second action for the afternoon is probably going to be another gather information from somebody else, right?
In a different district, right?
This will complete your day, right? You have 4 rolls. You have Beauregard.
I get a bonus roll, though. Right?
No. Sorry. The bonus roll that you get still counts against the 4.
Oh.
It's just that.
Just that I get
because it's that you get to make 2. It's that you get to make the 2 gather information checks.
Okay.
So the 4 total rolls were 2
everybody
for
else can only roll once per day.
Chucklos and Warren made the rolls, right?
So so Beauregard rolled once in the morning with Warren, right? And then it transitioned to the afternoon. It went to Alaric, and then Beauregard's second roll. Does that make sense?
Sounds good.
And we're done for the day, right?
And this so this is the end of the first day. This is the second lead that you uncover. The temple he's referring to is the Church of Asmodeus. The bonus roll is what is the bonus roll? Oh, the Cellist group. This bonus roll is for knowledge local.
He didn't make a bonus roll there, did he?
No, so the bonus roll is what we unlock. So I get a lead.
That's right.
Bonus roll, and that'll give us a hint as to what's up next.
Right.
All right.
Is there any functional difference between a roll and a bonus roll? Bonus roll is just a follow-up roll, right?
Yeah, it's a follow-up roll.
I'm basically nitpicking the name.
Yeah, it takes its own. It does take its own slot.
All right, so we'd be on the morning of the second day now.
Yeah, so this is the morning of the second day.
Does someone make a bonus roll? I have 11 to knowledge local, so I can do that.
Here are our options, right? We can roll 2 more gather informations, or one person can make this bonus roll, somebody else can make a gather information. if your bonus for like the essential choice here is my knowledge local is slightly higher than Alaric's, but I can also make two gather informations today, which might be a better use of our time.
And also, first of all, our knowledge locals aren't that different, are they? At most 2 points, I think.
I mean, mine's also like +6.
Because of the inspiration?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
up to +6, right? Like,
I have a 13 knowledge local. I have an 11 total.
yeah,
but
14
isn't it better? Oh, there you go. Yeah. So 3 different. Oh, but you also get your inspiration. Anyways, but we know that you should be going to Yoba Willis Harbor regardless,
yes,
right?
That is a good point. I will roll on Yoba Willis Harbor, and you'll roll knowledge local on.
Someone else wants to roll knowledge local.
Does anybody else have better knowledge local than Alaric?
Nope. Also, how do we know we need knowledge local? Did I miss someone saying that?
I said that out loud.
Oh, okay.
I can actually. I'll include that in the quote next time.
All right, so I will.
I have them all written down.
Yoba Willis.
Okie doke.
I will roll for
Jesus
that.
Christ.
Bloop.
I thought you guys would be good at this, but apparently I underestimated that. So the bonus roll keys you to the Castle District. The Castle District is where the CCG is based. So it's going to be where you're going to follow up on that lead, and
but we can't follow up on that until tomorrow.
Until this afternoon. We're in the morning.
Until this afternoon, yeah, this is the morning.
So now Marigrug and Co get to.
Or I could go to the Castle District because I've got a better bonus.
Yeah, I already fucked up that roll once. I correctly assumed Castle District would help.
I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. All right, this is the second lead that you get from Yolubilis Harbor.
Ooh, middle class. Why can't it be lower class? Be like friends with them.
Alright. Does anybody besides Alaric have knowledge of ability ranks?
Nope.
Laughable.
Alright, so in that case, somebody else should take a quiet word from me and go investigate
No, the Castle District or a random district?
No, I go to the Castle District because I got the best score, and then they go investigate another district just so we don't waste an action.
Sure.
I'll go to Red Roof.
Alright.
And
I will go with Red Roof.
I will whisper sweet nothings into your ear about how to interact with the tieflings of Red Roof.
I'm glad I didn't go there.
And then Mango's roll.
This is for the Castle District.
That succeeds. Let me look up this Castle District one. Alright.
We're looking for Laira and Mateo.
Yeah. So, Jimmy, your roll succeeds, but there are no leads in Red Roof at this time.
At this time,
so certain districts might be dead for if you might be led to Red Roof by another lead, right? For instance, this one that you guys just learned in the Castle District could send you to Red Roof, but at this time you have no leads in Red Roof, and there's nothing for you there.
Okay, we know that.
Anyway,
now.
Beauregard, that is the lead that you get out of the Castle District.
Okay. And the knowledge local was out of which? Or the knowledge ability roll is out of which place? I'm sorry. The Temple District, right?
The knowledge. So the knowledge nobility is what you guys learned at the end of the harbor.
No, that was at the harbor, or was that the Temple District? Okay.
No, it was Harbor.
Okay.
So my understanding, there were a few negotiations between Delrange and Thrun sent you to the harbor, and the harbor is what sends you to. Delrange has ties to the Aldorian estate, and they're helping broker a deal to integrate Thrun with the middle class of the city. That's your knowledge nobility.
Okay. I believe it says I can't say that fucking word.
Bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie.
I didn't know how to spell that, so I literally put in Google like bourgeoisie, like Z-E-E entirely phonetically, and it corrected me. I was very happy with Google.
Google's pretty great.
Okay, so this is the beginning of day 3, morning of day 3.
But as a random note, are we actually mentioning, just based on the last quote that you copied in, we're actually mentioning to people, hey, yeah, we have some friends that were taken prisoner. We just going around the city saying that kind of shit?
Yeah, we're just gonna hand wave that you're being discreet about it. This isn't like increasing your notoriety or anything. Exactly.
On a semi-related note, can we make that bonus check now, or how does
No,
that work?
it still
You
requires
need to make it the next
time.
morning. Yeah, that requires time.
That's what I mean by now, because knowledge arcana.
Oh.
Morning of day 3.
Yeah, so you guys have two. You guys have 2 open bonus rolls. One for nobility, one for arcana.
Does anybody have
God.
knowledge nobility besides?
Nope.
Laughable.
I do not have nobility.
I have 9 to knowledge nobility, and I think 13
I-
to arcana.
I have knowledge nature.
I have 1 rank in nobility, but I have no intelligence, so it's a bad idea.
So here's my thought. I'm thinking that this knowledge nobility hint is going to lead us straight back into the green, which would make it a waste of my time to investigate that lead.
If it is a lead, you know something more specific. I guess I'm saying it's not overlapping.
You can bypass the roll if you can guess where it's going to send you.
Right, and I'm guessing it's going to send me to the green, which I already investigated.
Right. If you went to the green, if you went back to the green now and made a new roll, you would proc a new
potential.
Like what
because
you just said
you're
about
following up on the specific lead, right? It's different. You wouldn't be able to uncover this lead.
Otherwise, there's not enough districts for us. We could just iterate over all the districts and we'd find everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I propose. I'm gonna guess it's in the green because that makes sense to me. Laira, Greg, why don't? Oh wait, we can only do 2 rolls at a time. How about we just do both bonus rolls and I'll let.
Okay, so Alaric is going to make Arcana. You're going to make a gather information in the greens.
No, I'm going to make a knowledge nobility check. I'm just going to.
Oh, you're going to do both bonus rolls?
Well,
no.
He's going to make Arcana. I'm going to make knowledge nobility.
Right. Those are both bonus rolls.
Well, yes. When you said you, I thought you meant Bower.
Oh, sure. Sorry, I meant
I thought
plural.
you wanted to guess
definitely.
where the nobility thing was.
Yeah, if you want to guess the nobility thing, that would be a gather information.
Because if you're
check
rolling
in the
nobility, that's yeah. Maybe.
If you roll nobility, that kills your bonus action effectively.
Right, but I'm not sure about it, so.
No, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, so Alaric and Beauregard.
That's a 34 for knowledge nobility.
That's a success, and then Alaric Arcana. So Alaric's Arcana fails. Your nobility succeeds. It directs you to Jarvis End. Jarvis End is where the nobility would be the upper class. Jarvis End are where the bourgeoisie, the worksmen, these a lot of kind of like middle management merchants are living.
Okay. So we've got. Does anybody else have Arcana?
Nope.
I'm
not
not
nature.
an magic guy. Yeah, I have nature and geography.
Oh shit! Let's go to Jarvis End. I'm gonna be very useful with knowledge nature, if you know what I mean.
I have a +5 to Arcana.
No idea.
Human nature.
Hey, how much for Arcana?
No, I mean
Plus
trust, you
one.
idiot. How do you
Plus
not
5.
not know?
Alright, so we want to have America make a bonus roll on Arcana to try and hit that again, and then have one of you guys make a gather information on Jarvis.
Yeah,
Sure.
Who wants?
Weirin can do that. I thought it was always Weirin.
Sure, I can do that again. The general one.
I will whisper into Weirin's ears.
I will go with Weirin.
So my roll is for Jarvis's End, or whatever it's called.
And Marigog make an Arcana roll for
Oh no.
Fuck my
Jarvis End, and that's +5 or +4? Is that
No,
integrated?
that is with his +5 thing, or whatever.
So
up
with
to
his
5
+5,
skill
you
ranks.
roll a 15.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Arcana, you roll the 11.
Because it doesn't overlap
shit.
with my skill ranks, right?
Fuck me. Okay, you know what? I fucked up. Alaric's roll succeeds. You can re-roll, figure out what you're doing. The DCs for the bonus rolls are a little bit lower. So Alaric hits his DC Warren, you can make a different action.
Oh,
What
okay.
does the DC tell us?
Warren or Weirin?
Oh yes, you would learn that. So Alaric's Arcana roll puts you to Villigry, right? Yes, puts you to Villigry.
But how did I learn that? Oh, because there were magics.
Yeah. So magics, and there is. It's not necessarily talking about the Alabaster Academy, but it is talking about wizards for hire, kind of hedge wizards and stuff like that. And that is Villigry is because its proximity to the Alabaster Academy is where a lot of those folks live in this city.
So I'll give you a quiet word for that, Marigog, if you want. Also, I forgot about this. I can burn one of my inspiration to give you an inspiration on that roll. Is that
Oof.
money?
Yeah, it's kosher.
All right. So you get my ranks plus a 1d6 on top of it.
Okay. That's your ranks instead of my ranks?
Yeah, so 5 ranks instead of your ranks plus 1d6.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna investigate something.
This is you are gathering information in Villigry.
Okay, so I am in Belgrade. Okay, let me just write this out since it's not the same.
Plus your bonus if it's a class skill, which I don't imagine that diplomacy would be for a Blood Rager, but I don't remember.
That's true. You can also use Intimidate, but I don't think you can Quiet Word Intimidate. And the DC is higher.
I might be able to Quiet Word Intimidate. I can Quiet Word Intimidate or Bluff. I can't remember which one. I'll look it up.
You know what? Bluff would work too. I mean, if Intimidate works, Bluff works. But the DCs are higher for those two. Right. Just be aware.
It appears that... It's a diplomacy.
Roll this or not?
Fair enough.
The only thing about Intimidate...
How high is your Intimidate?
I can Intimidate very well.
I got a +8 to Intimidate.
Oh shit.
Alright. You have 5 ranks in it, right?
Yeah, quote unquote. I have only one rank in it. I just get a bunch of Intimidate.
Ah, well.
Oh no,
well,
that means no. That's good then.
I can Quiet Word you up.
So then you Quiet Word him for an extra +4.
5 ranks. So yeah, +4.
And okay, so your roll
is
D6?
1d20 plus 12 plus 1d6.
Right.
Has there always been a D6 when you do Quiet Word?
It depends on if I burn one of my inspirations.
Oh, that's okay. I was like, that sounds like inspiration though. That's weird.
Yes, I can burn one of my inspiration to give it to you. I don't always do it because I like to use my inspiration for me. But I don't. I get it for free on these rolls. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna intimidate the shit out of these scholars. Sound good? Yep.
Sounds good. Go nuts.
Okay.
Hey, that's a success. Okay, Villigry.
So that means that me and Weirin went to Red Roof. Oh no.
I mean, we succeeded anyways, but it's fine. Well, that roll might just not have counted. I don't know. Did we still go to Jarvis's End, or did we redo that because of...
Yeah, because me and Weirin split off from the group, supposedly.
Yeah, Weirin failed. That 11 plus 4 is
the
gather information.
A D6 or something?
I didn't. I forgot to mention it, so I
okay.
Yeah. So you didn't get information from Weirin, but you did from Warren. That's the lead that you get from Warren.
Stop mixing in-game and out-of-game names. God.
Sorry.
So does that mean we need another bonus roll on Arcana?
That's the bonus. That's another bonus roll on Arcana.
All right. So
I assume that's me again, unless
we'll do bonus roll Arcana, and I'll make a gather information in Jarvis. That makes sense.
Sounds good.
Sure.
That gather information succeeds.
You give me inspiration on knowledge.
No, only intimidate and diplomacy.
Why not before I rolled it? Bam.
That knowledge arcana succeeds. Okay, the knowledge arcana reveals that this is a dead end. It's basically suggesting that the vault is where these guys are being held, but also at the same time that like new wards and stuff are being placed there, which doesn't, they're not that stupid. They're not gonna hold the people who just broke into the vault in the vault before they finish putting up new shit. Their new shit there. Your Jarvis End roll succeeds.
That was more
Wait,
like
make me
a
sure.
knowledge logic check.
Yeah, but whatever. Okay. That's what you get from middle class bourgeoisie people in like Jarvis End.
Schools and educators. Is there a place where, do you know where?
I mean, the only like Old Kintargo, I don't know where else normal people are in this damn city.
Oh, it's Scholastic Center, Filigree.
We went there already, didn't we?
Yeah, we.
This unlocks the new lead for you to potentially get in Filigree.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I can't make a nobility check today, but you said you have 1 rank, right? Maragrug?
I have 1 rank in knowledge nobility.
Might as well make it, and I'll make the knowledge the gather information in the Filigree just in case.
Okay. Here goes nothing, everybody.
Yeah, right.
Fucking nothing.
Filigree.
It succeeds. Filigree is the place. Hold on 1 second. Let me post the.
We did a good guessing, guys.
Way to. I mean, you guys are running out of fucking rolls, man. Way to fucking get there.
Another knowledge arcana roll.
Yeah.
Wait, can we use
Alaric?
the Alaric?
So this is morning of the 6th day.
Can Alaric just like?
Oh
God,
shit! I shouldn't have. Fuck! I shouldn't have said that.
What?
I shouldn't have posted it yet. Oh no, I should have.
Yeah,
no, I'm
yeah.
stupid. I should have. I did the right thing.
Can Alaric go and talk to what's his face? Lecter Fortnax?
Oh god.
I know it doesn't fit mechanically, but just like thematically, that's what I would do. I would like.
Is that a good idea?
So far, it seems like a good idea. I think he can be trusted.
But didn't he kick you out? Or
he's sort of doing his job. I don't really know what to think about that exactly, but for now, he's seemed every time I've spoken to him, he's been nothing but trustworthy. He gave us pretty good information on the other dude. What's his name?
I can't remember. Silas Evergreen, the librarian. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's true. He did give you that information. Yeah, you know what? Let's say you can, and it'll just like be in the place of a bonus roll, or like it'll be in the place of an actual roll, right? So you can take one more roll, and then
So like that, essentially, that's just like a roll that succeeds.
If you RP it right, I guess. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that is kind of a little bit wonky. You're having a hard time getting in touch with Elector Fortnax at the drop, like at a moment's notice kind of thing. So the knowledge arcana roll will kind of be whether or not you could pin him down to get the information. Make sense?
Alright, and just so there's a thing to be doing with the other action.
Don't post anything yet, buddy.
I'll do a gather information.
That knowledge arcana check, sorry. Well, sure. Mango.
Yeah, so, unless anybody else has a burning desire to make a gather information check, I could make a guess as to where that's going. Where do you guys think I should make? I have to make a guess. Where do you guys think I should go?
School of Barcelona is integrating with the Alabaster Academy, is offering quite a bit of funding Sections of the school train are convinced the staff so far has been had, and I believe deals is reached next time.
I don't know, it's between like it's probably the Greens if it's like rich people. I don't know
They
how
started-
rich Yobo's Village Harbor is.
Why would it be the Greens?
So it's more like, it seems like they've started transferring people, so what we
You know what? I'll just. So that knowledge arcana's check reveals that they're being held in the Alabaster Academy,
Right.
That this is the opposite of a dead end, right? This is the blanket success.
Oh, you guys
They are in the
oh.
Alabaster Academy. You get this information. Elector Fortnax is unavailable. He's, whatever. You just gotta get this information from just kind of like run-of-the-mill students in the area, kind of thing, and they talk about, oh
It's like,
yeah,
hello,
right.
fellow teens.
Yeah, exactly right. And they talk about, oh, hello.
How are your studies progressing?
Yeah.
Shirt,
I-
shirt that says magic source on it or something.
And so they talk about how it precisely what's being described has been going on for a while. Barzillai is trying to get these magic cells up and running, and the first two prisoners came in after the break-in the vault, last week, kind of thing.
Is one particularly short and the other one a man?
They don't know the specifics. They just know that it is enough information that you're confident, right? Two prisoners immediately after the attack on the vault get brought here, kind of thing. And so yeah. So you know where they are. This is also part of the same week, by the way. What do you want to do next? I imagine there's some planning involved.
6, right?
So do we have like floor plans or like some kind of idea how Alabaster Academy?
Don't have floor plans offhand.
Can we
I have a
use
map.
the remaining time we have to start gathering information on one of our secondary tasks?
Or alternatively...
Jeez. Yeah, I guess, well...
Yeah, no, that's a great
It
idea.
wouldn't really reveal anything
Like,
in the same... Oh, by the way, on, the third day, another murder happens, by the way. So, you are at 3 of 5.
Okay.
But, is that, does it use the same system as this, or is it a different system?
It's different systems. Well, so the thing with Cassius, right, is different because you don't even know from any perspective, right? Like what negotiations, kind of thing, what he may or may not demand of you in order to win his allegiance. And it's not like you can, walk around. Hey, do you know what Cassius Vasquez wants in order to betray Chalayax and join our rebel cause, right?
But you said what? We voted that the second thing we were going after were the murderers, and so I figured that might operate on a similar system if we could. But if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Sorry, I was still in my head that you guys were going after Cassius next. You were going after the murderer next.
We are.
Yeah, because of me.
Yes, because we're Cax's weak-willed.
I will say, how about this? You can roll, Mango. You can roll 4 gather information checks, and then record those results and remember to remind me about them when you guys start the next section, and this will kind of jumpstart your investigation, so to speak.
All right, can other people help me remember?
We could hear typing.
Right, but that's. Can other people help me remember that I voted?
Yeah, because this is gonna be like 3 or 4 weeks from now.
So these are just essentially extra gather information checks?
Yeah, these are gather information checks about the murderer. So
What?
that
So
You
just
want
from
me to make
a...
them now, or do you want me to just make them when we do it?
you can make them. Make
makes-
them when we do it. That's fine.
Yeah, because otherwise we might just go into it being like, well, those rolls are all shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I get 4 of them, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you get 4 gather information rolls about the murderer. The murderer definitely won't use this system, but you will be able, if your rolls are good enough, I guess you can kind of leapfrog over some of the early bits in that process. But
Fantastic.
So what's the plan? Do you guys return to Tooth and Nail, start planning kind of thing?
Yeah, we should probably plan our kind of assault on the Alabaster Academy.
Okay. When you get back to the Tooth and Nail, there's actually kind of a crowd outside, which is a little bit weird, obviously. And as you guys push your way through and enter the bar, nobody's in it. Like, it's empty. Citrona has been waiting, the patron, and she kind of looks at you guys and, like, immediately, like, starts to her feet, and she kind of says, you should go downstairs, I guess.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay.
I'll take the front in case someone's there to kind of attack us.
Okay.
Okay. As you
Yeah.
guys head down the steps into the basement that's been the incredibly jank headquarters for the rebellion. If you remember, there's like a big, huge pile of crates. It just like in the middle of the floor is all these kind of like supplies that Citrona has. Sitting in a chair, leaning back,
Oh boy.
like on the back two legs of that chair with his arms crossed and his feet up on one of those crates.
Baron
is
Rogar, isn't it?
Baron Rogar.
Oh god.
What the fudge nuts?
He looks at you and he says, "Greetings. I've been waiting, I suppose, as you can see. I thought it was time that we talked."
Oh god.
Who is this? Sorry.
Baron
Baron
Rogar, the
Rogar.
captain of the guard, the captain of the Dotari.
It's like
Your cousin, technically.
Oh, right.
Because I believe Calandriel is both of your grandmother.
so to be honest, I guess this is like the 7th worst person we could be meeting, so it's not exactly the worst. It's not the best either.
Yeah, he hasn't turned us in yet.
That's true. He
Well, he's
found
also
us.
like of all the people on the council, he's probably the least hostile to us. Considering
Man, is that
everyone else.
true? Yeah, I guess that's pretty true.
Yeah, because
I mean,
everyone else
yeah.
is extremely hostile to us. So
Yeah, that's
Everyone
pretty
else
true.
wants us super dead. Baron just.
Baron is just like a mercenary captain, right? Essentially.
He's not a mercenary captain.
Mm.
He's been so Baron is kind of one of two. There are two legacy members on Barzalaithrin's cabinet, right? There's Kornstein Grivner, who's been the high priest of, he's been the high priest of, fucking what's that stupid guy's name? Asmodeus. He's been the high priest of Asmodeus for like a really long time. And then Baron has been the captain of the guard for about 20 years, basically since he was, you know. He's like in his 40s now, so kind of in his mid-20s. And he inherited that position essentially from his father, who was the Rakash Rogar, like the big war hero that saved everybody on
he was
on
in Silver Ravens, right?
Yeah, so he was part of the original Civil Ravens with Illyria, Gondor, and Calandriel. And he basically sacrificed himself and died in order to defeat Lilith and the Beastmen on the Bleak Bridge or the Bitter Bridge or whatever the big bridge is that bridges North and South Kintargo. And then his son, Calandriel's also son, his and Calandriel's son, becomes captain of the guard, and he's captain of the guard for a long, long time, like 60 years until he dies. And then leaves it to Bairn, who has now been captain of the guard for a while. And he was captain of the guard for Gillia Bainalis, right, the original Lord Mayor, who then went off to Varisia. This is all history that you know and probably immediately recall.
Well, this
Yep.
is a surprise.
I figured it might be. Listen, I'm going to cut straight to the chase. I know that you've been trying to find your friends, Laira and Mateo, and I think that you've just pinned them down in the Alabaster Academy. Is that correct?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, if it is correct, that's a trap. They are not there. I know where they are, and obviously I want to work together.
So,
What?
out of character, buddy.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I ask him, why would you want to work with us? You are part of the council.
You know, that's a good question. Yeah, I wonder. Can you answer that question? Do you know
Conrad?
anybody? No, this is Baron.
What? Wait,
How about when we answer your question?
No, not.
The question that Enoch just asked, why are you willing to help?
I'm
right?
not Enoch. I am Rakox.
Fine, fucking Rakox, right? The question that Rakox just asked, he throws it back, and he asks if you can guess why he's here, essentially.
You faithfully served the former Lord Mayor and are unhappy with Barzilai's tenure.
That chuckles in character. He says, "Oh, it's close. I thought you were supposed to be good at this, Beauregard."
Would you like to be
detect
Lord
magic.
Mayor? Do you want
There
to be
is
Lord
there
Mayor?
is a sizable amount of magic, but it's almost all like protection, right? He's not gonna walk into the fucking
Okay, but it's not
whatever
it's not an
abjuration.
illusion.
No, his father was.
You do know a good amount about their relationship that I can recap from you, but I can't really answer the whether or not they were good friends.
What do I know about their relationship? What do we do?
So for instance, you remember that when, or do you want to say this, Beargrug?
Well, just really quickly, the fact is, like, so, of course, like, Baron's father, like, and Gondor, like, tight ass motherfuckers. And then one of the things that really upset Gondor was the fact that, like, Baron is the one who betrayed him. Like,
true.
he is one of the ones, like, so I'm just saying, like...
Baron is directly responsible for the purge, right? He's the one that literally came and threw all of you guys in prison. That was the Dotari. Gondor had an agreement with Baron that, because Gondor's crime was relatively benign, Gondor made almost all of his money just selling contraband books to, like, wealthy nobles who wanted to have, like, fancy libraries. Baron allowed, essentially, Gondor and his organization to exist, just so long as when Baron needed information to stop actual violent crime, right, Gondor was willing to work with them, kind of thing.
We are actual violent crime.
Yeah, that's true. And then Barzilai Thrune comes in, Baron betrays Gondor, takes him to jail. That stuff happened. Your relationship, what you know about the relationship between, like, Gondor or Baron and Tonrik, specifically, is that I'm trying to think all of the times that you've seen this. So, for instance, when the stuff with Regregis was happening, where you guys were there, and Kenrov, Tonrik wanted to keep Kenrov, and Regregis wanted custody of Kenrov back, right? He wanted Kenrov out of Tonrik's custody. Baron agreed with Tonrik in the cabinet meeting. Tonrik told you this in the cabinet meeting, that Baron was the only person that had his side. Everybody else was on Regregis' side and said that Barzilai should give Kenrov back to Regregis.
They're, like, kind of, like, my guess, even before you tell me this, is, like, they are, as you said, the two legacy people, and they're kind of long-time council friend, like long-time co-workers, for lack of a better word. Like, they've both been protecting the city for
also at the same time, though, you know that Tonrik tried to get government funding effectively for the Knights, that Gilia Bainalis explicitly denied.
Right. But he was like, the Knights were always sort of having a problem with that, right?
Yeah. And that's why the Knights had to rely. That's why the Knights had to rely so much on funding from the noble houses in order to keep going.
And the Dotari are sort of like, the Fellow Citizens Brigade are really like kind of the SA. Your German history. They're like the common people mobilized, and these guys are more like rank and file police officers, like paramilitary police officers.
So is the answer you want to embarrass Regregis because he is getting too big for his britches?
That would be a great answer. I would love that this was all out of spite. It isn't, unfortunately. I'll give you one more guess. I'll tell you what, if you can guess correctly, I'll let you know where your friends are right now. This whole thing is just like a not quite smug, but kind of smug smile.
Like a sense motive
Yeah,
sure, sure. Let's roll sense motive.
All right. Sense motive for everyone. We might as well just all do it.
How this thing works.
Yeah. But like, true. not just Beauregard, but everyone's gonna, the chance that we roll super high.
You know what's funny? The only person that rolled super high is Hunter, who's not here. He rolled a 24. Beauregard rolled a nat fucking 1. The best you can get, Weirin knows Erwirin figures out that this doesn't have to do with Tonrik at the very least. Because you remember in the meeting, right, that you guys oversaw in the dream, that Baron literally said Tonrik wasn't willing to work with anybody, he had to die.
Right.
But that's all you get.
Ooh.
Anybody else have any idea?
Still thinking.
Okay. Baron Rogar is captain of the guard. Barzillai Throne took over. Fuck bitches get paid. He just doesn't want Barzillai there.
Wouldn't that fall under my first guess though?
Yeah.
What was your first guess?
Essentially that like he was unhappy with the way Barzillai was running the show. Given that he was
Okay.
that he's
I don't know.
I don't
guess
know.
the
Was
other
my guess
side-
right? Because I guessed that he wanted to be Lord Mayor.
Oh, that you didn't guess that. Did you
I
guess
did.
that?
I said
yeah.
it.
He did.
I did.
Guessed it.
Yeah, I
Was
guess
that the second one?
I guess so.
1.5.
Yeah.
He didn't respond to that. I didn't hear that. He didn't respond to that one. But if you want that to
Okay.
be your third guess, that's fine.
Okay, do people? Because I guess we can.
I don't have anything much.
Honestly, don't have a better idea.
Yep.
All right, we'll
so,
ask him.
Quick,
Do you
quick
want-
aside,
okay.
Quick.
how Chiliaxian is Baron Rogar? Like, is he?
You can roll a knowledge history for this, by the way.
Bam. 13 in that knowledge history.
I guess Beauregard. One more of you can also roll a knowledge history.
Oh boy.
What?
I don't have a history.
Oh shit!
24?
Oh, sorry. You got a 24. Sorry, I didn't realize it was that high. So Bairn is inadvertently the reason that Barzillai is here in the first place. This was described to you a long time ago. But basically, Bairn was willing to eat high. There are a ton of laws in in Kintargo, right? And Baron was willing to eat high crime numbers as long as he and the Dotari had a good completion rate on things like murders, theft, rape, right? He doesn't care if you're saying seditious stuff. Everybody says seditious stuff. And he's willing to let those numbers go up and up and up and up and up in order to get leverage on people to use, so that if a murder happens, he can go to somebody and he says, listen, I have a file this thick, right? I can throw the book at you and throw you in jail. Tell me who did this murder, kind of thing, right? This has the effect of Kintargo has the highest crime rate in all of Chiliax, right? But it also has the effect of the violent crimes that are happening in Kintargo are surprisingly well handled because of this tactic of Bairns, right? This tactic was approved by Jane Abilius and it's basically been the order of the day for 20 years, where Kintargo was relatively free and looked a lot more like a Varisian city than like a Chelish city. So that seems to suggest that he's a little bit more in line with.
What does that sound?
You see what I'm saying?
That was me.
He's a little bit more in line philosophically with that kind of Varisian way of thinking. That said, he also completely threw everybody and everyone and all of those principles under the bus in order to placate Barzillai through, and so who knows?
You're not transmitting Chucks. I think Rikax's guess is as good as any.
Okay, for Cax's guess?
Yeah.
Final answer? Solid. Okay. He says, swing and a whiff. I'm sorry, but I guess my motivations are a little bit more complex than I thought. I have no desire to be Lord Mayor, and I figure we would get to this in a little bit, but I like where I'm at. I think being captain of the guard is a good place for me, and if I die in this position, I will be a happy man. That said, I think that, let me first.
Coming too soon?
So what he does is he leans forward off of his chair, and he has a couple of pieces of paper in his hand, and he hands them to you guys.
Do they match the handwriting on the pieces of paper we've been
They fucking do.
Oh,
In fact, they're not quite carbon copies, but they're effectively copies of the notes that identified Morgar Manthai, identified some of the other supporters that you guys have been taking in. All of those notes have been coming from him, essentially. He says, I figure this would be a good way that we might be able to bridge a gap of trust.
I say, well, like, Beauregard's eyes go wide as he recognizes the handwriting. Huh.
To be fair, doesn't mean that some sort of in the past you've had a history of acquiring leverage over folks in one way or another.
That's true.
Have you come here to extort your leverage?
I guess you could say that if you were looking at it discharitably. I think about it as we are finally in a position to make a deal. But, I'm not gonna blame you if you're a little bit bent out of shape that, I sit on the council with Barzillai Thrun and he's the single greatest threat to Kintargo's freedom. From your perspective, of course.
Sense motive from your perspective, of course.
You are, you and Rakox is also extremely confident in this. You are confident that he means that he is genuine when he says your perspective.
What I meant to sense motive about, and maybe I can't get this, but is like your perspective, of course, do I get the sense that it is also his perspective?
You don't get that sense. He's hedging. What he just described obviously sounds like he's down for the fucking revolution. No, he is not feeling the burn. Okay, he is saying, I understand where you guys are coming from, and so from your perspective, yeah, Barzillai Thrun is the single greatest. He doesn't necessarily see it that way. You don't know how he does see it, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, he continues and he says, the reason that I decided to come here in person is twofold. First, I've been giving you a good amount of information, and I think it's about time that you make good on that inadvertent debt that's been created between us. And second, because I do legitimately not want to see this rebel group burn to the ground like all of the others, and walking into the Alabaster Academy to try and save your friends is just another trap.
What's that sound?
I'm dealing with my mail because I have a large pile of it.
Anyway. So what kind of deal do you want to make, Baron?
Well, it's good that I came here with some terms. They're fairly straightforward, and I imagine that the third one is going to ruffle some feathers, but let's get to that when we get to that, shall we? The first is that you won't be killing any of my Dotari until I give you specific names. Otherwise, I'm going to require that you use non-lethal force and not kill any of my people, even in otherwise bloody conflict. I'm more than happy to work with you to a certain extent, but that doesn't mean that all of my watch captains will be able to, and I need to preserve my standing in the cabinet, so I won't be able to take it easy on you, and I won't be instructing any of my people to take it easy on you. Unfortunately, I'm instructing you to take it easy on them. Secondly, it's obvious that I have some form of mole in your organization. Otherwise, I wouldn't know where you are here, or about the Long Roads Coffee House, or about any of these other things that I have pretty fairly in-depth knowledge regarding your rebel organization. You're going to be tempted to try and find that mole. Maybe execute them, maybe exile them. Don't. It's a waste of your time, it's a waste of mine. I'm very good. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm very good at getting spies where I need them, and even if you do excise the ones that I have placed in your organization today, I will have more in it tomorrow. So let's save ourselves the hassle, shall we? Third, and this will be the fun one for the lot of you, if You take control of the city from Barzillai Thrune, execute him, run his corpse through the streets, and take control of the city. I am to stay on as captain of the Dotari indefinitely.
And what do you
Really?
get out of this?
You get my continued support, admiration, more importantly, a location for the two friends that I know you desperately want to find before more of Barzillai's demons have their crack at, or devils have their crack at them.
How are you handling the murders?
The murders are actually not my department. Unfortunately, Cornelian Grivner has been assigned to the task, and I know well enough by now that I can't really change lanes in order to handle that for him.
Lanes from?
All of my other concerns in the city. Please understand. I'm not here as a font of information for you.
And you know,
I
you're. So hold on. It was don't hurt Dotari.
Would you be amenable to revealing the identity of, say, at least one of your moles in this organization, of which I do not doubt you have many? That way we might have a way to expedite information to you that we might otherwise keep hidden from the average troopsman.
Well, you see, I've demonstrated why I'm trustworthy to the lot of you, but I'm not quite sure that I trust you with that information.
Frankly, you've got collective balls in a vice. You know who we are, and you have the ear of Barzillai Thrune. If we are
That's true.
on this deal, I do not see how that would matter to you in any way, except because you hold essentially ultimate power over this.
I'm glad to see that you understand your predicament. Unfortunately, I am willing to wield that ultimate power to keep the secrecy of my moles and spies for that much longer.
No, that doesn't make much sense, but whatever.
What doesn't make sense about it?
Tell us where our friends are, and you can consider this closed. No, we're good.
We have to.
No, we're really good.
I would prefer it if you voted on it. When you say we're good, it seems to suggest to me that you're not taking my deal as seriously as you might otherwise.
I take your deal very seriously. Ultimately, we have laid your terms, and I think that there is literally no way out of it but for us to accept it. So, if you would like to vote, I vote yes. However, it's silly because even if we all stand here and vote yes, and then tomorrow kill a Dotari, you will still come. You will still come and.
We're bound by the oaths of this organization. That means we vote regardless of whatever mental acrobatics you go through to try and erase it.
That's in character. He laughs.
We will hold this vote as symbolic as it might be, as is our way.
And I thought the cabinet was dysfunctional.
Quite functional. I vote we.
No, just him, just the small one.
Let's say,
Laira and Mateo obviously aren't there to vote. Taylor and Vigo would vote aye, but I guess they're not here because I said it was empty. So
So
if
I
you can
will-
reach a majority without them, though,
right.
and you do have a quorum also. So
I will vote first. I will vote that we agree, since we have no other choice, really.
Sure.
A reluctant eye from Beauregard as well.
I don't think anyone's dumb enough to say no.
Right,
Grab
but
the
I just have
situation.
a question before I say yes.
sure.
How much have they gotten out of them already?
Your friends are quite resilient. As far as I know, no information has been spilled.
I vote yes.
What's this guy's name again?
Baron
Baron.
Rogar.
Baron
Baron,
Rogar.
right.
Yeah.
Buddy's cow alter ego.
Chocula.
You know what's funny is when I made Baron, like Baron the Tauren character, this is a tangent, I guess. I actually didn't expect to get that name. It was just I was having a hard time naming this character, right? But Baron is a character that I've had for a long time. because you played in the 4E game with Baron, but but I just kind of was like, well, let's see if it's there. I assumed it's a pretty, it's a fairly common name. I thought it would be taken by somebody, or like I just expected it to be taken, and it wasn't. And it's not like I was gonna buy a rename or anything. So I was like, well, Baron
Right.
Grim Totem. Anyway.
Perfect.
So what does Weirin vote?
I was also reluctant, yay.
Okay, so all of you reluctantly have agreed.
Yep.
He says, good. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, there may come a time when the terms of this deal need to change, but don't worry, there's still an upside for you. I'll be feeding you as many of these spies, he points to the papers in your hands. I'll be feeding you as many of these spies as I possibly can. It was, that's the first step to Barzillai dismantling an organization. Though I will caution you that as soon as he knows your names, he's going to come at you full force. There won't be anything that I or anyone else can do to stop or abate that. So I would imagine that staying as secretive as possible is probably in your individual's best interest, though I understand that the organization has to go public sometime, so.
So since we have agreed to your terms, will you tell us where the true location of our two friends are?
That's fair enough. I have the Nidalee Embassy in the Castle District, the Temple of Zon-Kuthon, also, has been abandoned since the start of the Glorious Reclamation. Nidal withdrew all of their diplomatic personnel. The only thing or person that has remained behind is the priest of Zon-Kuthon that they brought to the temple with them. As he is not a diplomat, he was under no obligation to leave, and very swiftly threw in with Barzillai Thrun. They're being held at the abandoned embassy as we speak. To the best of my knowledge, there are several devils there that took a few days to conjure, that are doing their best to extract information from Mr. Vasquez and Ms. Longroad.
Hmm.
Is there any chance you would know about other prisoners or be able to get us information about other prisoners?
Most of the other prisoners that I know of are still in the vault, to be honest. It was decided that these ones wouldn't be held there, though, because it's obvious that you're fairly adept at getting into and out of the vault unnoticed, and we didn't quite trust.
Would you say that there is a perception that when it comes to the vault, the silver seal, the golden seals can...
Yeah, I've broken out of it twice. So yes.
perceived or actual, this is a perception among your staff.
It was explicitly decided that Barzillai Thrun, or it was explicitly decided by Barzillai Thrun, that the prisoners were going to be held somewhere different. He seeded the false story that they were at the university, both as a test of the university's convictions and as a trap for the group of you. Two of his inquisitors have been polymorphed to look exactly like Mateo and Laira. The expectation is that they would come back to, is that you would rescue them, take them back here. They would either feed the information to Barzillai, they would kill you in your sleep. It gets gruesome when it gets to those kinds of detail.
How trusted or valuable are these inquisitors?
These inquisitors are the most trusted organization, or the most trusted force that Barzillai has under his command.
Let me ask this question in a slightly less in character way. Are they strong enough? Are they strong enough fighters that they would pose insurmountable challenge?
Yes. He goes on to explain in character. He says, Barzillai has always had a personal cadre of followers, right? Inquisitors. You've met one of them, Nox. Nox may be one of his personal, but the reason that she's sent on so many mundane diplomatic missions is because she is the least capable of any of them in a fight. Barzillai has to date destroyed, devastated, killed, and executed all the members of 7 different rebel organizations. The only ones that have been immune to that are yours, because I've been protecting you from the spies that he uses to identify them, and Hedman Hace's, because Hedman Hace only takes tieflings, and Barzillai cannot get, for the life of him, a tiefling spy to agree to betray. God, I can't remember what his name is, or what the name of their yeah, the Red Gills.
Wow, good on them.
Personally, I would be happy to betray the Red Gills.
Why? What have they ever done to you?
Disgusting people.
Anyway, this meeting has proved fruitful. I would say we can't say I'm exactly happy about it, but at least we're not walking into the jaws of death, and for that I will thank you.
God, man,
Wonder if we should walk into the jaws of death.
There is some stuff that I forgot to... Oh! He says, you should know about this trap, however, that it's as much a test of your abilities as it is the loyalties of the Academy. This is speculation. It might not come to pass. But Barzillai is going to expect that this information came from university officials when you rescue your friends from the Nidalee embassy. He's going to assume that someone from the university informed you that it was a trap, because they know it's a trap, and you use that information and follow the leads, whatever else, in order to identify the Nidalee embassy as the appropriate target. So, be aware that there is a chance, at the very least, of some repercussions hitting the university based on your actions.
Thank you for this information. That is obviously of great concern to myself.
The good news is that your elector, I don't think, even knows about them in the first place, but I could be wrong.
That is pardon me for assuming that was a direct threat against me and my interests.
Yeah, it might be. I have plenty of information about where and when and why Barzillai Thrun is making the moves that he does, but I don't have as much information about the inner workings of the university. It's entirely likely. It's entirely likely that the Academy. It's entirely likely that Elector Fortnax, as part of the Academy, has been a part of some of these decisions that are being made. I'm just assuming, perhaps for your sake, that he's not.
He is a diplomat here, and as far as I know, they want to be friends with the Kyonin, but whatever.
We can discuss what to do about that out of the earshot of Brian.
Our good friend here.
The last thing you should know is that I'm not pledging myself to the Silver Ravens. I advocate for neutrality and for the conflict that you provide for Barzillai Thrun, and I'm looking to be wooed more than I am willing to dedicate myself to one cause or another. When you decide to take to the streets, as I know this will have to end at some point with a battle in the city, you can trust that the Dotari won't move against you, but they also won't move for you. I'm not going to be some kind of planted force that you can unleash upon Barzillai because, God forbid, your revolution fails. Well, I still need to have my head attached to my shoulders.
Sounds, I expect no less.
Fair enough.
That I wish you a pleasant good night.
Can I
I mean,
size up Barzillai, or Baron rather?
Sure. Like in a could you take him in a fight sense?
Like he's
No.
sitting there right now. If all 5 of us were like, "Fuck you,"
No, and before he is level 20, he just one shots all of us.
That's sort of actually been my.
You know what? Let's.
Sort of been my wonder, but like
I mean, you kind of get enough of this. You probably could take him 5v1, maybe.
Oh, really?
Well, it depends.
We'd have to have some good rolls.
From a purely mechanics perspective, well, you guys have 5 actions. He would have 1. Maybe I would give him 2, right? He's pretty high level, but I don't think he's insurmountable. However, your detect magic suggests that he's not looking for a fight, and if one were to break out, he has options. Yeah, he has options at his disposal to,
I'm also taking stock of this so that at a later time, if that becomes a necessity or an eventuality.
Oh, I will tell you guys. I
Has
will.
he left yet?
If you want him to, is there anything else you guys want to
I
get?
mean,
Well,
I've been waiting for him to leave because I have a lot to say.
Do you have a question, Mayor Greg?
Well, yeah, I was trying to continue that line of thought, just like, if I give you the name of a prisoner, can you tell me if they're in the vault?
As a gesture of good faith, I think I can.
Okay.
I have one question.
He kind of takes a minute and he says, "But I will warn you, if the prisoner you're looking for is your handmaiden friend Irie, the halfling slave,
Yes.
I'm afraid she's no longer with us," he says, apologetically.
Oh boy.
So, this is the point where Margrove just, like,
Loses his
walks
shit.
out of the basement.
He
like,
says,
Right out
he
of the
says, I
campaign."
don't mean to throw one of my in no way esteemed colleagues in front of the raging owl beast, but Regregious Tumbis, when he took control of the vault, stopped feeding certain prisoners in order to give extra rations to his Chelish citizens' guards. To the best of my understanding, that wasn't actually his orders. His guards are just undisciplined enough that they stopped feeding prisoners, and he took responsibility for it in a cabinet meeting. So, and you can do with that information what you must.
Well,
Spicy
looks
info.
like we got multiple reasons to hate Regregious now.
I have a question. How?
Popular rumor is it's not
Oh.
the truth.
I will hold this opinion to myself. Never mind. Carry on.
He says, I have one more bit of information that I think you might find interesting. Though it's not quite of concern to you at this moment. Barzillai Thrun's brother, Lucian Thrun, who's been tasked with holding Menador Keep. The order of the day in Menador Keep is for the gates to be as open as possible to refugees flooding north. This is because Barzillai believes that the refugees will come to support his claim to power and be positive voices for him, advocating for him in the community. Largely, he's right. The refugees do agree with him that crime is a problem and they want it dealt with, especially as their lives have been entirely upended on the other side of Chelayax. Lucian has closed the gates to the Menador to Menador Keep and is demanding extreme sums in order to allow refugees. He's extorting them effectively in order to allow refugees into Kintargo. Barzillai doesn't know this yet, but I do, and now you do. So make of that what you will.
How far away is
And
the Beastman army?
are you asking him that?
Know about it?
We know
He says, I have a great respect for our Waywatcher brethren, I donate annually 1,000 gold of my salary to them because I think what they do is so important to Kintargo and to Ravenel as a whole. Unfortunately, I know that they've come under quite a bit of fire. Barzillai is receptive to the Waywatchers, and he has, excuse me, and he has considerable, almost infinite means at his disposal in order to funnel money to them. However, he has not been persuaded as of yet to make that kind of outreach to our friends in green.
I make note that
But does he do you have any information about the
army itself?
problems besides outside the walls?
I know that it's insanely unlikely that any army will be marching north in order to handle the Beastmen. It may, but to the best of my knowledge, there's a legion of 10,000. There's legions and legions of thousands of troops, and they are all needed in one place and one place only, and that's at the front, fighting against the glorious reclamation. If Barzillai is able to convince his cousin that she can send troops here to secure Ravenel, that will be quite a feat on his part.
Or is it just like, what is the glorious reclamation?
Oh, the glorious reclamation. Oh yeah, so the glorious reclamation is in eastern, like all the way across the continent, like in eastern Chiliax, there's like a big paladin crusade order that sparked up, and they have just been like tearing up shit all the way through to the countryside. At this point, I believe they hold. Well, I don't really know where they are specifically, but they have been making considerable gains. They've taken cities. They're holding cities. I believe they have a powerful artifact in their possession that they're using, like some ancient sword of like Iomade or something like that.
Sword of Valor?
Ashbringer?
Yeah, the Ashbringer, dude. Yeah.
Wait,
it's
is
not
Thunder
going well
Fury,
for
the
Chila.
Blessed Blade of the Windseeker?
Oh, Thunder Fury, the Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. Yeah, it is going poorly for Chiliax so far, though they're not, they haven't lost or anything. It's just they are on the back foot and have been retreating for months on end.
Who is this specifically? Do we know? Just
The Glorious Reclamation.
Is that where Tonric is off to?
No.
That's basically what I was trying to get at, anyways.
Tonric, this hasn't touched Ravenel, right? At Ravenel and Kintargo is all the way on the left side, or on the sorry, did I say west? Yeah, this is coming from the east through, to kind of like the center of Kintargo. This has not touched you guys at all, except for all of the refugees that have been flooding through because they've been driven out and their shit's all destroyed from these, crusaders.
Yep.
Indeed.
Alright, is he gone yet?
Yeah, he leaves.
Alright, so really, okay. Numero uno. Fuck this deal, doesn't matter. Like, we don't care
What?
because there's literally nothing stopping us. The moment we go public, he can't do anything to us. Right? Like, especially if we are a little bit more careful. So, there's a mole. Unless the mole is one of us, and I think that we have proven that. I find it exceedingly unlikely that it is any of the 5-6 of us.
You want to know a fun fact, by the way?
What?
You know Mark's original character, that halfling arcanist?
No, but sure.
In the original, like, way back in the beginning, he took the mole trait, and he was the mole. But obviously, that didn't end up actually transpiring. This was a long time ago when we were first like talking about the game,
Sure.
And then he's since re-rolled that character to Hunter.
Sure. So, I think that, your lovely Council of Elders bullshit thing, that's great, and we're gonna keep having it, but it's no longer the central planning body of this organization. We can't suffer that anymore. That's pretty clear. And after that, it doesn't matter whether or not we find the mole. As long as we're good about keeping the really important information to ourselves, that's fine.
What do you? We can't
What?
not inform the rest of the board about things.
What?
That's so retarded. That is
What?
Do you say that in
you
character?
are actually sabotaging. You are taking your lovely cane sword and stabbing yourself in the foot.
No, you are taking your lovely cane sword and throwing it through your eye if you think that we can help you do anything.
Who has gone on all of the important missions, the really treacherous stuff? The only, and who needs to know? And who needs to know the details of those missions? Only the people going on them. So let's stop telling everyone and their fucking mothers, oh, here's where we're fucking gonna go. No, we say thank you very much.
The board anything is the moment we lose the faith of this board and the moment this rebellion.
Oh, okay, sure. That's fine. I don't give a flying shit about what you think. I'm telling you the reality of the situation. We are currently directly feeding our enemies information about our actions, which are
Right now, he is
incredibly-
neutral. He is not the enemy. He is
he's
neutral.
not fucking neutral.
Oh, and you think the
Oh,
moment
you
stop
think that
getting
he's going to
information-
keep his head on his fucking
What
shoulders
you
when he
supposed
does
to do?
nothing in a war on the streets? He is literally goading us into wooing his fucking support. He can't. He knows, or he's an idiot. In which case, you're right. We should tell him everything because he's going to get himself killed. Right? He knows that if he doesn't have the Dotari act against us, there is no possible way he ends up with his head on his shoulders. Come the fuck on.
I don't think you understand. We're already fucked. You think
No,
the moment we
you know
stop
what?
feeding him information, he isn't going to march in here and shove his goddamn sword up your and my ass simultaneously?
If we just fucking don't tell people where we are, that isn't a fucking problem. We have
What do you
fucking...
mean it's not a fucking problem?
We have
Steady
earrings.
flow of information.
We don't give a flying fuck. We have wonderful little earrings that tell us that we can use to communicate over long distances. We leave one with a trusted ally, and we fuck off, and we don't fucking meet up with them every goddamn 2 minutes. We can feed them misinformation for all I care.
So, this is what's going to happen. This is going to work for exactly one mission. And then whatever public-facing aspect of this happens is going to come out, and he's going to know that we're hiding information of him. If we're even
Yeah,
successful at
and
that.
then he won't be able to find us because we will be public, so he won't be able to be like, oh, I know where these secret rebels are. All we have to do is be hidden on our own. Who gives a flying shit?
What do you
That's
mean?
what we should do. That is absolutely what we should do.
He'll go public, and he'll march in here and shove his sword up our ass, and
No.
it won't be a problem anymore.
No, we don't let him know where the fuck we are.
He
when he's
knows
public-
where we are! He just came here and said hello!
You
What
are you are categorically dumb.
Oh.
I really hope that guy from Twitch has tuned in right now.
You want to move and, like...
I want to not tell our people where we are. I want to plan
wanna
our
establish a
secret
different
operations.
safe house
I want to
and
plan
move
our
them.
secret operations outside the view of those who are not going on them, because that is what any sensible rebel group does.
So,
Really? Is it?
So, you want our rebel organization to not know anything about what we are doing?
Not to not know anything. We can still have followers. We can still look for information, but they should no longer know where we are going and what we are doing. That is
They're the ones that
categorically.
gather the information for us half the time. We send out these... We don't discover anything on our own. We send out packs of fucking beggars to pretend that they're nothing, and they bring us back information.
Exactly, and then we say thank you very much and we walk away. And we should probably send those beggars to places that aren't interesting, too. Places that we're not going. We haven't even gotten to the part of this that you're really going to hate.
So, you want to try and send out people on fake missions. Our strapped resources, you want to send them on wild goose chases to try and...
I want to make sure that this organization succeeds under the theories
We
you
can't
espouse.
do
It will fail.
anything!
You are
We
retarded.
might be alive, but we won't be able to accomplish any change. trained.
What do you mean? We have accomplished everything by ourselves right now.
That is explicitly untrue.
Oh my god.
We exist because we have
That is
funding
untrue.
from the Shadow Veils, because our supporters provide us with information, and because we fucking act
And
as a
Lorelei
cohesive
keeps our
unit.
money.
No, we can no longer act as a cohesive unit. Our organization has betrayed us. Full stop.
If we do this, we'll be betraying our organization.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? We're not betraying the organization or the cause. The organization,
We will
What?
be
the organization has
ineffective,
been proven
nothing will happen.
dysfunctional. The organization has been proven dysfunctional.
You think we'll be? What are we going to be able to accomplish on our own? And where do you suggest we move? Like, basic of all questions.
We don't need. So,
We're going to
first of
stay
all, we
here.
need to move somewhere. Actually, you know what? You're right. We fucking need to move somewhere. I don't have an excellent solution to that, but someone needs somewhere. We need to establish a base of our own that is separate from this motley crew of fools and idiots that has gotten a.
You know what, Alaric? Go find your own base. Go sit there, and we'll take care of the rebellion for you.
Okay, fine. Alaric leaves.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
You can go. Yeah, you can go to the Alabaster Academy.
But really,
I thought you left.
I was sort of just kidding on that.
Fair enough.
It was kind of.
Okay.
It was.
I will
kind of
confirm.
like, oh well, Alaric fucks off because apparently the only reason Alaric was like hanging in the city is because he thought he couldn't leave. But anyways, like here's the second part. We're still retarded if we tell the rest of anyone this, but we should probably send people to go. Okay, I have a plan for the two Inquisitors in the Alabaster Academy. We arrange to attempt to rescue them, and I know this will be unpopular with you. We send those people to hopefully succeed, but if they die, I won't be too broken up about it. And if they do succeed, we don't send them back here or wherever we are. We send them out on a ship and we burn the ship to the fucking waterline.
You can send Ariandis to basically go kill them as a rescue mission.
Okay, we could do that. We could do
We
that.
could do
too.
that. We could do that.
But
Oh.
then it is just as clear to anyone else that we knew they weren't the real people.
I thought
It
they
doesn't-
were
it
like
doesn't
too
accomplish
strong
our
to
goals.
easily kill or whatever. Also,
Like,
Maybe
could
I
he do it in
misunderstood
such
that.
a way that would like not seem like it was planned? My personal favorite version of this plan is we say the Silver Ravens have relocated out of town. You need to come on the ship with us. You get out to sea. The ship burns down and our people get away.
And that doesn't
Well.
look suspicious at all.
I don't give a fuck at that point.
It also
What?
takes
The fucking academy will still come under fucking fire.
No, because
It's
they
obviously
died.
a trap.
You don't-
It is obviously a trap at that point. You take Boslai through for an idiot.
He doesn't know where we are. Or wait, no, I forgot. Everyone the fuck knows where we are. Yep. Never
There's
mind.
also-
Bad
there's
plan.
also-
Let's go tell everyone.
Oh, you fucking.
You are
fucking
retarded.
imbecile. You are looking to protect the academy. Are you not? That is your objective in this, is to protect the academy.
No, my objective in this is to not tip Barzilai Thrun off that we know he's onto us.
You would have
ship
to.
with two of his agents on it isn't going to tip him off that we're
We're
on
not
him.
going. A ship burned. Do you know what the big problem with ships is? They fucking burn and they have no way to stop
And they
it.
just happen to have two Inquisitors on it. that
Well, we
were
don't know
met there
they're
by agents
Inquisitors.
of the
We're
rebellion.
very, very fucking sad about the fact that our friends died.
You're
There's
an
a
idiot if you think Boslai Thrun will believe that.
There's
Or
a
we've dealt with two of his powerful Inquisitors. Either way, it's fine. Also, like,
if you're willing to sacrifice your team, you could do something along the lines of, we went to
I
the
knew
Inquisitors.
you short-sighted morons would not go with this plan, but I had to raise
Well,
it
this
because
is
it's
a terrible
the
plan.
best way.
You could do something along the lines of, like, you send Ariandis to go quote unquote rescue them, but really kill them, right? Make it look as though the whole rescue, all of this stuff went south. The Inquisitors fucked up, whatever. They killed
Found
some
out
of
they
the.
were Inquisitors and not our friends, which is how we establish cover for actually rescuing our friends.
They die or whatever. You can even say that some of these. You can even say that, like, the team dies, right? And then go send the team out to go. I mean, they're all fucking honor-born anyway. You can just go send the team to Tonrik, right? Like, it's not a big deal if you need to get them out of the city to avoid coming under that kind of fire.
These are
you lose
my
the team.
thoughts. My thoughts are stop telling everyone where the fuck we're going, what the fuck we're doing, and just have nice ways of communicating with our organization, and that we should probably do something about these two lovely Inquisitors that we know are a trap.
We should be able to see through their.
Baird stops getting information. He's gonna know that we're doing that on purpose, and that's not gonna work out well for us.
We should be able to. We should be able to see through their the Inquisitors.
We
should be able to see through the Inquisitors.
Don't try to find them all.
We should be able to see through the Inquisitors. We should be able to see
Does
through
it
the
even matter if
Inquisitors'
he knows
illusions.
where we are since he already knows who we are? If he just rats us out, it doesn't really matter where we hide in fucking Barzillai City.
We're going to go public.
We're in Barzillai City.
We're going to go public.
So with
It
rescuing,
seems like everyone and their fucking mother knows where we are.
can we have other people talk to? So with the illusions, we should be able to see through their disguises. Like we should be able to see. It is not impossible for us to not know if we already detect magic, because this is a magical area. The library, the Alabaster Academy.
You could also kind of like plant a story. Like if you go extremely publicly, right, or not extremely, but publicly enough that Barzillai will be able to confirm this. If you get like potions of true seeing, or whatever else you would need in order to see through their disguise, you can make that a plausible thing, right?
I think it's entirely plausible that we discover that it's entirely plausible that they should either die in an accident, and then we discover
What?
The two Inquisitors need to die. I don't think that there is a positive outcome if those Inquisitors don't die. For no other reason than we are depriving Barzillai of two of his inner cadre of enforcers.
I think that's a harder task than you envision it.
I think that either we need to make that attempt, or we need to at least make a plausible run at it. And we shouldn't go fucking tell everyone that that's what we're fucking doing.
The minute Baron stops receiving information.
How do you don't know that? And who gives a fuck? So what? Let him.
Yes, let him walk in here and dismantle the rebellion single-handedly. That's exactly what I want.
That's exactly what he will do, and that's exactly what he can do at any time, and what will happen if we keep letting him know. What I am literally saying is to be smart about this and to not tell people where we're going, so that the threat of him doing that is lessened considerably.
The threat of him doing that is increased infinitely.
No, it is
the
not.
Only reason
he found us without.
Murder us at this moment is
he found us at his will.
You is because of some silly superstition I have that maybe that would end poorly.
What superstition?
What?
He knows where we are. The minute he thinks we are not in his pocket anymore is the moment he walks in here with 10,000
He'll walk in here, and where will we be? Not here.
He can find us anywhere.
No, we can't.
Where do you think he found us here?
Run away to Keonan, he won't find us there.
I think technically Alaric's point is that if it's only the five of you guys, none of you five are the mole, so he won't have your information.
Yes.
He'll be able to find us eventually.
I'm explaining. I just wanted to clarify. Yeah. Also, I will point out that Baron Rogar could I think it's possible that he walks in with the sword, but it's probably more likely that he just tells Barzillai through your names, right?
Either way, we're sunk. My concern is that when he stops getting information, he knows something's up because he's not a.
Who cares?
Why don't you care? What are you talking about?
He's still going to hear, oh, the rebellion's doing this, oh, the rebellion's doing that, but we don't say, oh, by the way, all the people that you know to be the leaders of the rebellion are going to be at this place at the given time to every fucking person in the organization.
Off from that information
he knows who we are. Who cares where we are?
Okay,
so I have thoughts if he ever says anything.
Who is reporting every move to him. The moment that person says to him, they are avoiding telling us things, so that doesn't happen
He'll be
anymore.
like, oh, that's smart.
No, he'll be like, oh, that's smart. Then tell
Or at worst case, he'll come back here and say, stop doing that, and we'll be like,
no, worst fucking case, he marches in here and murders us all.
He's not going to do that.
Why not?
How do you know?
Why not?
Okay,
how
he could do that,
how
but he
do
could do
you
that at
know
any time.
he's
So
not going to do
The
that?
moment we stop playing ball is the moment he has no
We're not
interest in
playing
keeping us
ball.
alive
We're doing
anymore.
exactly the same thing. You are actively increasing to the likelihood, because then he doesn't even have to find you. He doesn't even have to look. He just goes like, oh, I know where they're going to be, and here's like 30,000 fucking Dotari there that will all be like, oh, we can't kill you guys, until they're driving a knife through your throat.
Yes, and if we don't do that, that'll happen today instead of tomorrow.
No, it won't.
Yes, it fucking will. The moment that we stop being a benefit for him, he will squash
I
it
am like
beneath his heel.
actively done with this.
A Winulos Beast left channel and disconnected.
Okay, well,
Also, one thing to mention is that Elric no longer has really any ties to this rebellion anymore. He is free to leave. That was his original.
he needs the rebellion in order to regain his rank with the Shattered Hall.
Oh, fair enough.
Anyways, so that bit of story is the last thing I have planned for tonight. So, you guys don't want to.
If after Alec walks out, do you guys want to discuss anything?
Yeah, let's talk. Was that
Like when idiot he is.
Was I
for
this
not-
crazy? Was I this crazy like before? Because I still remember. And I'm a little embarrassed about like the very first like 2 sessions. What
Oh,
happened?
did he actually leave the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit! Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh my god.
Well, maybe I should have jumped in a little bit sooner.
No, I'm just gonna say,
Oh,
if he knows our names, it doesn't matter what we do. We can't just like fuck him.
So in,
Bingo.
so in character, like
Oh, like yeah,
was I
we're
this
gonna
crazy?
go hide in a house in this city. Barzilai never find us. Gives him the name. I'm sure Barzilai will find us.
oh god.
Yeah, there's also magic for that kind of thing. He can
Scrying?
start
Yeah.
he can start scrying you guys if he has your names, etc., etc.
Also, we have
Oh.
no defense against scrying except for like Alaric himself.
Yeah, well, you can get defenses against scrying. It just takes.
Yeah, well, mainly because none of us are really arcane.
Yeah.
So it'd be much more difficult.
I can't believe he actually left the chat.
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
I thought this was all in character.
Yeah.
I was
Really
I was
Yeah, I
also
thought that's why you were
serious.
actually yelling.
Yeah, I thought that was
but-
all in character. Yeah.
Because
Because even when you started yelling, you're still like doing your Beauregard voice.
Yeah, and, to be fair, him leaving the chat might be like an in character. I don't know.
I mean, in real character wise, he would walk out. He would not be here for any of this conversation.
Wait, you live with him, Mango. Can you just like see him?
Mango, are you alive?
do you
Are
do you feel
okay?
safe? Do
Do
you
you
feel
feel
safe?
safe,
Yeah, do you need to go to one of their places?
Oh god. Mango, you should lock the door. Do you hear metal like starting to
Hear
sound?
that sharpening, just that.
Yeah.
Schlank,
Wait, what's that?
schlank.
Oh boy.
I'll tell you guys after he
Wait,
stops.
are we
stops
missing
broadcasting.
someone else? No, never mind.
Anyway, so yeah, do
Yeah.
you guys want to do anything else?
I mean, just to clarify, like,
Do we have the weekly like missions and stuff, or is that like next
that'll
session?
proc at the end of the session.
Oh, okay.
End of next session.
Okay.
Because all of this stuff will be handled inside of the week.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
So,
just-
just so I get an understanding of how we all feel. You guys think he has a point? Obviously you know
No.
my opinion.
No.
The only slim way we could avoid this if we all just tried to kill Bear and like while he was here. But then
Yeah.
he probably has someone that would have just like rat us out anyways. Like he has our name turned down somewhere to like give to him. Because he seems like a smart guy. Also, I like how Buddy just inserts all those other characters in like super important roles that eventually become our allies.
He's not really an ally. He's like our token
Wait,
evil
wait, wait.
ally.
What do you
He's-
call like Catwoman or someone that's like not a good or a bad guy? There's
Kind
always
of an
good
anti-hero.
Yeah.
anti-hero.
He's not even an
There we
anti-hero.
go.
He's like our
The
token
thing,
evil ally.
the thing that whatever. So he is motivated by the conflict, right? The more that you guys fuck on one another and like whittle one another down, right? Deplete forces and everything, the more valuable his static number of Dotari becomes. So like the more fighting that goes on, the better position he is in. So he's trying to keep the horse race alive for as long as possible, and then do you see what he that is his motivation. It is purely, you know.
He just wants the biggest army in the end. Is basically it.
He wants to be on he wants to be on the winning side, and two, he wants to accumulate as much leverage as possible. While things are still, it hasn't broken out into kind of like in the streets fighting, right? And so he needs you guys to get stronger and stronger so that Barzillai can't just like send a bunch of inquisitors to your house at night and murder you all like he's done with all of these other rebel organizations.
I want to kill Baron Rogar, like, at the end of this. I want to kill... Why do I want to kill a lot of people? Like, I want to kill...
I don't know,
Baron
your
Rogar.
solution to people you don't like seems to be to kill them. And, I guess that's you. You're no...
Yeah.
Barbarous cat, man. As much as I hate to admit, I do think he has a point about handling the Inquisitors in some fashion. Killing them, maybe not, but...
I forget if he mentioned, but are the actual prisoners also in the same spot or somewhere else?
No, they're like they're like
we
castle
don't know
district.
where that is.
They're in the castle district.
The actual prisoners are in the castle district in the Nidalee embassy. There's only one other person in the Nidalee embassy who is the priest of Zon-Kuthon, and then there have been a bunch of devils summoned for the specific the specific purpose of extracting information for these guys.
But where are the two bait people?
Alabaster Academy.
In the Alabaster Academy. Yeah.
So did I miss the reason why we can't just go to the castle district? We didn't find a good enough lead that they're there, or oh no, it was that if we do go there, then someone at the university ratted them out. If
you go there without doing something about the university,
the university takes the fall.
The university takes the hit for you guys, right?
That would not be good for us.
Right. So hypothetically, you're trying to keep Barzillai from, negative reprisal against the university at the same time that you're trying to get back your people before they give up any information. Because, by the way, this is the first one that you've chosen to handle. To show my hand a little bit, because this is the first one you've chosen to handle, you have good options for not having a downside, right? If you had let this go, it would be much, much harder to react, essentially.
If we send Ariandis, what are the chances that she succeeds?
They are the best chances you have. Even if you send yourselves, the chances are worse. Okay. But they're also not amazingly great. It's possible, but if
they're greater than half or not.
It's less than half technically.
Wow.
Well, so here's the thing. By the mechanics that I've laid out for Ariandis, it's less than half, but this is also going to be, it's a little bit special in the first place. Like, it doesn't quite form,
plot device handling.
Because, for instance, right, this would be happening at the same time, so this is technically an event that you're sending these people on, right? You didn't bank for them to be doing this at the beginning of the week, right? So it's not as straightforward as it could be. But like always, there's no risk of failure if you use the vanguards. Especially so if you use the vanguards, even if Ariandis fails to kill them, it'll still look like a botched mission. You know what I mean? Like it won't give away. It won't give away anything effectively.
A thought occurs to me. Could we send them, have them intentionally, essentially have them approach them and say something to the effect of, "You know too much and you were captured. You must be slain." And,
holy shit!
And essentially get them to force their hand, right? Like we bring the sword to their throat. Presumably they will reveal who they are, and then just have Ariandis disengage and escape. Like we're making a legitimate attempt to deal with this problem.
Yeah.
But,
basically, unless you guys roll like a nat 1, You get there's only upside, right? You either kill these Inquisitors, right, which makes it look like the mission revealed that these guys were evil or whatever. You fail to kill the Inquisitors, but Ariandes gets away, right, which still makes it look like the mission was botched on the Inquisitor side. You sent people to go get them, and those people were not, and that plan didn't work out. And then if you roll a nat 1, maybe Ariandes fucking dies. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, no matter what, as long as you engage this mission, you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be expensive though. It's gonna be like 500 gold.
Okay, but it will prevent the downside.
Right.
Your one method of being like, no, we have to kill these guys. If the actual two people find out about that, it could be bad. Wait, you were gonna kill us?
I mean,
what?
We can reveal to them that it was a play.
Oh yeah, or they can believe us or not.
Wait, who are you going to reveal that it's a play?
So the fact that we're going to rescue them from not that location would probably indicate to them that so if I'm correct, Weirin's concern is that news that we said you must die and we stabbed them reaches the ears of Mateo and Laira. But one assumes that we are simultaneously retrieving them, so they know that that's a play.
Yeah,
yes. Are we simultaneously?
Yes, you will be
but
able
if we're simultaneously doing it, then Barzal will still know that that someone at the university read it out, quote unquote,
not
because
necessarily.
we are rescuing them.
Not necessarily.
Why would we send 2 rescue missions? Which, if
that
one succeeds, will certainly be obvious.
This is a little bit out of character. You hit a certain chain of leads. There was another chain of leads that you just kind of happened to not get that would have ended you up at the Nidalee embassy anyway, right? It is possible to it's possible to get there without insider information, right? And it's not like people at the university know that they're actually being held at the Nidalee Academy. You attacking the Nidalee Academy doesn't implicate the university at all, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I was thinking
but if that's the case, then why don't we just go to the embassy and just
because
be like,
because
they know that we've been making inquiries into the academy.
So what the academy. So the idea is, if you don't make the attempt on the academy, someone at the academy informed you it was a trap. If you make the attempt on the academy, no matter what, that means that everybody at the academy who knows kept their mouth shut and you walked into the trap. Because if you purposely spring the trap, but then don't let the plan, like the intended plan, come to fruition, you don't have the downside of bringing these Inquisitors in or whatever, but you also don't send any signals to Barzillai that you got insider information. Does that make sense?
I guess.
Political games are very confusing sometimes.
I still think that if we ever do 2 missions at the same time, it just indicates that there was a rat or something.
Beauregard puts his hand over his shoulder and says, I assure you this plan will work.
Yeah. From an out-of-game perspective, I also assure you this plan will work, though I understand that Weirin in character can have apprehension. That makes sense. I get that. Anyway, is there anything else?
Can we laugh at Chuckless some more?
Are we still loading?
Oh shit, he messaged Hell's Rebels, dude.
Yeah. Alric's looking for new places to live.
Okay.
I will stop the stream.
Oh, we're still streaming, okay.
Oh man.